Hi there, how's it going? My name is Uwe. I'm a web designer and live in Perth, Western Australia. Originally I came here from Germany, and there's a reason why I mention that. Today I will teach you how to build an outstanding professional website that is a super contemporary design which rivals any of the big guy sites. I've been making websites for about 10 years. And over the last couple of years, site design has really moved to a very striking yet subtle look. Many designers now make use of large imagery, even full-screen video, use large fonts and tastefully placed, smooth icons. After all, your site should capture the visitor's attention really quickly without overwhelming them, whilst at the same time being functional and super user-friendly, correct? Many years ago, I was thoroughly trained as a German motor mechanic. And even though we learned a lot about the inner workings of a car, such as the motor, the gearbox, electrics, and all the other parts and pieces, it became more clear all the time that it was a lot smarter to replace a part rather than rebuild it and fix it from ground up. Because, as we all know, time is money, isn't it? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that pulling apart something from ground up and rebuilding it isn't fun. Actually, it's a lot of fun. And in web design, I have done that many times as well. However, for today's exercise of building a functional website, a good-looking functional website, let's focus on two very German intentions instead. Firstly, effectiveness. Your new website has to be at the peak of current looks, it has to be user-friendly, it has to work, and it has to be easy to maintain for you, correct? The second important part is efficiency. So why would you take weeks to do this? I'll show you today how you can, with a tiny budget, now at the time of making this video, of less than $75 investment, you can create a website for yourself or even a client that pays you good money for it. And the outcome will be a professional grade, outstanding, amazing looking website that you can be proud of. Here is how we'll do it. Firstly, go to my website. It's called Let Me Create It. So letmecreate.it/website. Once you're on that page, firstly, jump into my subscriber list, which will give you instant access to download the cheat sheet that I've created to go along with this video here. That way, you can basically follow along step by step and review things as needed, rather than having to scrub the timeline in the video back and forth to find where the particular item that you wanted to revisit actually sits. So you can just revisit it on the cheat sheet, then jump back to the video, and you know exactly where it is. So once you've done that, and download it and preferably print it off the cheat sheet, come back to this video here, and let's get started. Alrighty? So why don't you pause the video now, jump over to my website, while I'll move to the screen, and when you come back, we'll get started together. See you in a minute. Right, let's take a look again at the website here, which is my website in Perth that I use for web design. And I would like to show you several different options as to how to set up a homepage very quickly before we actually get into it and do it. So just that you can see all the possibilities. So this is the first option that I've got here, which has a full screen slider image. So what you see above here, that is an image slider, could also hold videos. Now, of course, I've just chosen that to show you. Normally I would change the color scheme a little bit for this to stand out a bit more, but it's just an example to give you. So this website has the menu sitting here on the left. There are many other options where we can have it placed across the top, or we can have it transparent. So different options available, but this particular layout is ready to click with a press of a button and to install in one shot when we later get to that. and then you can see how all this sets up by itself. So it's absolutely brilliant. So option 1, still image. Now you can see, still image and then slider images afterwards if you set up more. So you can have an image slider with unlimited images basically. I've just put one there to show you. So the site itself, the content, still sits below. So if I scroll down, it brings up all this beautiful content, very well ordered, structured, really good font sizes, great to read. Okay. Basically it's got all some fancy gimmicks here that make the site come to life a little bit. So that's the one option with the image. Now let's move to another one. This one is, I've already loaded this. This one is a YouTube video, right? So here I've used the same slider, and rather than an image, I've embedded a YouTube video. Now you can use other people's videos on YouTube unless they've turned off embedding, and then it won't be available anyway. So you can embed anybody's video that you want into your website and use it. Now it's not your own content, of course. However, there's nothing wrong with showing this one. So here, a high definition embedded video. Same thing, it's just sitting in the slider, and if I scroll down on my side, the content of the website comes up over it. The third option is a self-hosted video. This is a short segment I took down at the beach with my iPhone, and 30 seconds just looping it over the slider here. So it sits on, the actual file sits on the host, web hosting as well, and it just runs basically. So you have unlimited option really here to make your homepage look exactly the way you like it. So again, if you scroll down, up comes your content. All right, right there, beautiful. Now there's a few other things we will look at when we get into depth in a second. This is the website of the actual page called Let Me Create It /website that I've sent you before, which is where you can opt in quickly into my subscriber list and then download the cheat sheet to work along this video when we really get into details. This is what we call a custom page. Now we'll walk through building a custom page as well, which we start from scratch with no content at all. Okay, so this one was not installed by the one-click install, but it looks quite good anyway. So let's just have a look at some of the pages that do come with the one-click install that we're using to make it really easy for you. So for example, here is an about page, and I'll also look at the contact page. Now, little trick here, rather than going with your right mouse click on a link and then you click on open link in new tab, what you can actually do is simply use the wheel of your mouse, go over the actual link and just press on your wheel, and it opens up right away into a new tab. Now for some reason these aren't loading very well. I think it's my internet that's a bit slower at this moment. But let's just let those two pages load. So you literally just go over the link, click on your mouse wheel itself, and it opens the pages. So this is trying to open the about page. This one is the contact one. For some reason they're not coming up right now. Yeah, let's just wait a second and I'll come back to that when they have loaded. Right, here we are back again. Now this took a couple of minutes. It seemed that my internet router had actually shut off for a second and had to reboot. So yeah, here we are on the contact page. Now also here I'm using a YouTube video that I just found, which is from one of the tourist places in Western Australia, and I'm just using their video embedded into the slider on this particular page as well. So again, it's a very lively page with a professional HD video, makes the contact page look really, really appealing. And the content below, in this case, is a Google map that's already part of the website when you install it. You just have to modify the location. And then some fancy content down here, including your contact form. which is also secured by a question here, so you don't get quite as much spam. So that's your contact page, and then the about page, that's also one that's coming in. Here is my lovely wife. And yeah, I've just modified some of that content. So we'll go through all how to modify and make these look exactly the way you like in a moment. So when we install this, you get all these different pages. Now, let me just go back to one of the videos, let's say the self-hosted one. Now, what I wanted to show you here is the beauty that this site also is automatically resizing what is called responsive in web design. So if you change this from, let's say, a full screen, normal screen down to an iPad or a tablet, for example. Look at this, it resizes everything. In this case here, it's gone to a mobile menu now rather than having the menu down the side. It is now gone to a mobile menu, which opens up like this. Right? But the content is still there, all resized as well. See, now that all fits perfectly. If I go even smaller, let's go to a phone size, watch it resize, there it is. Automatically resized again. So your site, your website will basically have all these features afterwards as well, where everything automatically fits into whatever size device, whatever size screen you're using. Absolutely brilliant. All right, well, let's dig in and look into details. Right, let's now take a quick look how we can bring all the pieces together and make this work. Let's say I've chosen a name for my website and I call it creatingmynewwebsite.com. So that's what I have purchased. That's a domain name. A few dollars per year secures you that name. Now we need what we call web hosting. That's basically a server space where all your files and images get placed. And when somebody visits the site, the server serves up these images to them, so they end up being on a live website. Now, there's a structure behind the whole thing that is called a content management system. In this case, we use the world's leading content management system, or CMS, which is called WordPress. Most websites these days run on WordPress. Now, to achieve the results that I've shown you before in no time flat with the highest effectiveness and being efficient at the same time, we need a website theme. In our case, we use the #1 most ever sold theme on the planet, which is called Avada. It is simply the best. I swear by it. I use it on a regular basis, and it's absolutely brilliant. So these are the different items that you need. Small investment here, all up less than about $75, and you have a super professional site up and running. All right, well, let's get into it. So if we come back to this page quickly here, which is the /website one that I showed you before, you can, through this link here, directly access the best current deal at HostGator, which is the host that we'll be using, and we'll also be purchasing the domain name there. Now, I have got a 30% discount coupon that you can use in case HostGator itself, they do run seasonal offers and sometimes have really good specials, which may only last for a few hours. But in general, you find that using this 30% discount coupon gives you the best deal. So it's called Let Me Create 30. So let's just click through here and move through to HostGator directly and see where we're at. Okay, see their current special is 20% off. So if you use the coupon, you'll get an extra 10. And also it enables me to continue making these free videos because I'll get a small kickback from these guys. So let's just get started. Let's see, go into their hosting and sign up. Now, we'll be choosing the perfect plan for you. So these guys actually have 3 different plans here on offer. Now, the Hatchling plan here is just for a single domain. So if you only want to ever run one website, that will be the one you'll be using, which is, let's say if we're going on a monthly, $8.76 per month. Now, the baby plan here has unlimited domains, so you can host more than one website. I would probably take that one. In fact, I already have this as an account, and I've just signed up for a fresh one again because in future I'm sure that I'll be hosting more than one website on this. So it's hardly any difference. So if you go to the monthly one, it's only $1 more, not even that. So I'll probably opt for that one, but of course that's up to you. Or if you want to go to the business plan, has a few extra benefits in the offering as well. So let's say we'll grab that one. So we'll go through to sign up, and the first thing we'll do now when it comes up, and my internet is shocking today. When this finally loads, the first thing we'll do is look for our domain name. So the domain that I want to purchase to show you this whole demonstration is creating my new website. It's already on .com, so if I click enter, it'll look for that one. Great, that is available. So obviously you check for the domain name that you like if it's available. Make sure when you do register domains that you're not infringing anybody else's brand name or or trademark, business name or anything like that. I would have a good look around first. This is a very generic one that I'm using here, which shouldn't cause any problems. So that's been added. It's got the baby plan here, which is currently on 20% off. So I'll be entering all my billing info and my payment details here in a moment. For now, I'll just turn all those off. In future videos, I'll show you how to do all this for free very easily. So here they've entered a coupon code by default, which is the 20% one. So if we just put in, let me create 30, a couple of things should happen. Let's have a look. So right now you're sitting on $22 with HostGather's own current discount. Let's just validate this one. Hey, and we dropped $10 because my current coupon for you also reduces the first month down to 1 cent. So not only are you getting the 30%, but you're also getting a 1 month at a 1 cent offering. So agree to the terms and conditions and run through your checkout, and then you've got your hosting as well as your 1 year of hosting for a month, and you've got your 1 year of your domain registration for the new domain. Simple. It'll take you 5 minutes. I'll see you back in a minute. Now we'll go and purchase the WordPress theme, Avada. Just click on here. It'll take you straight through to where you can actually have a good look at it. Now, if you're not sure whether that is the right theme for you, that is not a problem. There are other ones that are similar. However, I have found after trialing hundreds of free themes and dozens of paid commercial, really good quality WordPress themes, I found that there is no better than Avada. Now, this theme is about 3 years old. It has amazing support. You can see here it's sold well over 190,000 individual copies. Okay, we're currently on the version 3.9, so take your time and have a quick look through this and investigate it. I mean, it is absolutely brilliant. It has all these demos. Now, this is what we'll be doing in a moment. We'll be actually installing one of these demo installs, and I'll be probably using the one that I've showed you on my site, which is called Agency. So that's the one that creates the look that I've got. Now, there are others, and they bring in more demos all the time. So these are one-click installs to literally in a moment, once the theme has been uploaded into WordPress and activated, we can literally within 5 minutes upload all the files, pull in all the files for that particular demo, and our site is ready to go. Their support, their forum, the community is absolutely outstanding. If down the track you want to expand your knowledge a little bit, find out how to do different things, you just put the question into Google, put the question into their Avada community forum, or lodge a ticket in their support system, and you will get the help. They are brilliant. I mean, there's 20,000 comments, and almost 4.8, right? Almost a 5-star rating. Now that, as we all know, is almost impossible to achieve. So great theme, only not even $60, and within half an hour we will have one of the most professionally looking websites that is out there. So go through, add it to cart. They'll ask you to create this Envato Market or theme forest, as this is called here. We'll ask you to create an account quickly, and then basically once you've purchased it, inside your account it will appear in the download section where we'll download it. So we'll do all that now and come back to that in a second. Now you have purchased your theme and you have also signed up for your hosting and secured your domain name. So the largest and the thing that takes the longest would be downloading the actual theme. So now once you've received your confirmation email that you've purchased the theme, just log into your new account at themeforest.net, and under your name you find the drop down for downloads, which is just under here. So in there, and basically you come down and find, for you that's probably going to be the first one if it's your first purchase and the only one sitting in your downloads. So you go to download, grab all files and documentation. That will give you the latest and most current version on the day, basically. Now it's quite a large file here. It says 261 megabytes, so that'll take a little while to download. We'll let that run. In the meantime, we'll check in on our email that came in from HostGator with the account information for the hosting and your domain. Now from there you grab your password and you then log into your account management. How that is done, use your new domain name. In my case that was creatingmynewwebsite.com, so that would be yourdomain.com /cpanel. Bring that up. Your email that just came in from HostGator will give you that username and also the password. So we'll log in from here. That'll take us straight into the control panel for this particular domain name. And here we are. Now let's do a little bit of magic and install WordPress, our content management system, into this domain. So when you scroll down, you'll see here, creatingmynewwebsite.com is the main domain in this account. Now this is a new hosting account that I've purchased to show, so there is no other domains in here. So what we'll do is we'll scroll all the way down to software and services. Click on quick install. That'll take us to another page where we can install WordPress with one click. You do not need to create another account here. This has already linked it up straight to your HostGator hosting account here. So let's just scroll down, click on install WordPress, and we use the free version. WordPress is free software, so no need to use their paid version here. This is all upsells, so we'll just use that one. Now click here, it'll find your domain that you've got there. We'll leave this path empty, which means WordPress is actually installed in your root directory, meaning somebody later on brings up in Google or puts in the internet browser the word creatingmynewwebsite.com, they'll end up straight on your website on that, rather than having a / homepage or something like that, right? So admin email, we put in my email here. We call that Creating My New Website. That will be the name of the site that appears on the top as the title. You can change that afterwards. Now, I call myself editor, and let's install it. That's it. So we didn't choose one of their themes. I clicked no thanks, I'm a designer. Okay. See this up the top, how quick that went? That took all of about 5 seconds. Your install is complete. Okay, click here to view your notifications. Install complete. Username editor. Now this is the link to our admin area, okay? So I'm going to grab that password here, quickly copy that. You can also use Control-C or Command-C on your Mac. And I'll click on this. That should take me straight to the login window. Watch this. Now we've been at it for less than 2 minutes. So our username was editor. The password I've copied. Let's just click remember me and let's log in. And ta-da! We're inside our new WordPress. So let's just save that. Don't need to save that one here. So we're inside our new website. Let's have a look at the site, what it looks like right now. So if you hover on this at the top here, it brings the little link to actually visiting the site. This is called the admin area, or some people say the back end. So if you hover on this visit site takes you to the front end. So I use my little trick again. I click on my mouse wheel and it pops up a new tab up there automatically. So let's have a look. This should be installed now with just the latest free WordPress theme that comes with WordPress itself. And there it is. Very simple, straightforward. We have a website running on this domain. Now, less than 2 minutes. So from here, we will move, once the download has finished, I'm up to 89 megabytes. So still a bit to go, about 7 minutes. I'm going to have a little break here. And I'll come back once this download has finished. Then we'll install our Avada theme that we've just purchased onto this WordPress site, and you will see this develop a website in rocket speed. So let me just opt out for a short moment and I'll be right back. Right about now would be a great time to also save all your necessary data into one file, so you don't always have to go back into your emails and look for usernames, passwords and all that. Let's just throw that into one file. Now I've saved a file, an empty one right now, which is called data text, and I've created a new folder for the whole project, which is called creating my new website, same as my domain name. So in here, that's my first file. All right. Now all the things I put in here, for example, would be my theme forest account details, where we bought the theme. So first is the URL to theme forest. Then I put the username. Then I put the password. Next one, I would go to my HostGator billing account, which has all the details to run my hosting account. Okay, basically grab that and copy that down. The next one would be my cPanel account, which is the actual hosting control panel where we work with files and all that. Now that would be your domain name. So here, creating my new website.com/cpanel. Right, getting in there, that'll need a username and a password. Then lastly, we will need our WordPress. Okay, let's just grab that component. I'm a bit lazy, as you notice. I like doing things efficiently. So that's your WordPress. I just put that above there so it's easy to distinguish. WordPress admin. All right, and basically that's called creating my new website, or yourdomain.com/wp-admin. Again, there is a, oops, that clipboard's empty. There is a username and there is a password for that. So once you've populated all that, these are your main things that you need. All right, now it's easy to just go back and say, oh, I forgot this password. If you haven't saved it in your browser, simple pop back into this file and everything's there. All right, so I'll just save that. That file can disappear. Now, in the meantime, the theme has also finished downloading. I've pulled that whole theme folder of 260 plus megabytes right into here. So now let's do the first step here and extract that whole folder. Now we'll extract that into the very same creating my new website into here. Let's just let that run for a second. Awesome. Now that extraction is complete. Let's take a quick look at what's in this folder. So open that one up. There's Avada full package and the Avada theme. Okay, now there are two zip folders of a theme in here. One is called Avada Child Theme and the other one Avada. The reason there is a child theme is if you're a seasoned web developer and you intend to make a lot of changes, including to the coding of the website, and in order for these changes not to get overwritten each time Avada brings an update to the theme, because the theme files get overwritten each time, they have also created a child theme, which means it's just this very small file, and any code changes that you make, you'll be placing them in a child theme, while Avada does any updates in the background, and it won't affect any of those ones. All right. Now, for 99.9% of users, this is absolutely not necessary. So you would simply just install Avada theme itself and just run like that. That's absolutely fine, and we'll do that now. So this is the file we've been looking for. So let's go back to our dashboard here. Remember, we've still got this open from before, the admin area in our WordPress. So we find a section here under Appearance. Now, this is the actual WordPress admin menu on the left here, and we'll talk about a few of those areas as we go along. But right now, let's just look at the theme itself. So the theme is actually an appearance matter, so it would sit under here. So let's click on that. These are the standard ones that WordPress installs. There's one for 2016, 2015, 2014. Now we will not need those afterwards anymore. We'll always keep one just as a backup in case anything goes wrong down the track and you'll have to quickly switch off your current theme, let's say Avada, which hardly happens. Actually hasn't happened at all to me. However, you know, a good practice is always to keep one of those. You could delete those other two, but let's just add new. We'll update WordPress. I just noticed this is not on the latest version here. We update that afterwards. So let's just upload our theme here. Here's our folder. All we do is just grab that, open here. Now it brings it into here, and are you ready? Install. So that'll take a little while. If you look down here, you can see the actual progress of it. So this may take just a little while. Again, we'll just have a short break and we'll be back in a second. You beauty! This has now finished installing. Now we could do a live preview, but let's just click on Activate here. This is one of the most exciting clicks we do in the whole project. Activating our Avada. Here we go. That's the latest version, 3.93. Now, Avada asks us to install Fusion Core plugin, which is the whole backbone of their theme. So before we do anything else, we'll hop into that one. Let's click on here, go install plugin. It's the only one here. You can just click on install. It's required. Bang, there it is. Now you can go to required plugin installer. There are a couple more that Avada is offering, which are layer sliders and revolution slider. These are additional image sliders that you don't need right now, and the demo version that we will shortly install does not use any of those two. It's actually using the Fusion slider. If you look down here, that's already been installed by itself with the theme. Now we're coming ever closer to this really exciting moment where we'll just bring in our demo and rock and roll with it. Now, if you look over here on the WordPress menu, the admin menu here, we have plugins. Towards the end of this video, I'll also talk you through a couple of plugins that I always use on my sites just to make the website more secure and make things just run a little bit better. Now, there's one more thing. One more plugin that we need right here to make the install that we're looking for actually work. So let's just go to plugins here and add new. That one needs to be added right now. And that particular one is actually called Contact Form 7. So if you go over here, you see contact form 7, just click enter. The reason they need that one is the demo will install, so I'll click install now, a contact page directly with a finished contact form. So if the plugin for that actually, which is using contact form 7, hasn't been installed prior, then of course the contact form and the contact page won't work. So let's just activate that one. Okay, are you ready? Hover over here. This is Avada. See this one here, install demos. Let's click on that. Now before we do anything here, let's just go back and have a look at what the site looks right now with the very plain, uncustomized WordPress theme that's come with the basic WordPress install. There isn't really much there to look at. Okay, let's just refresh that. Now that we've installed Avada, it's basically just installed a very, very simple version of it. Again, that hasn't been customized. What we're doing right now is we're installing a ready-made site. So right now, we're looking for the Avada agency. Help me when you see it. It's down here, the very last one. See, this is the site that I've showed you at the very beginning. Menu on the left side, down the side here, and all the content in the other 2/3. All right, let's go and install that. Now it'll ask me here, importing demo content will give you sliders, pages, posts, theme options, and so on. This will replicate the live demo, which is the one that they have on their sales page at ThemeForest. Clicking this option will replace your current theme. So whatever we've done beforehand will be deleted, all right? Now, the Fusion core must be activated. We've done that. And contact form 7 plugin must be activated. We've done that. Let's go. All right, I love that little wheel turning. Won't take long. It'll pull in all the images and all the settings now. All right, that was about 10 seconds worth. Are you ready? Let's pop over here and do a refresh on the front end and look at our website. Oh, this is looking good. I can see it come up already. Now see the top here? It's pulled in your new site name and your site title. Now look at that. They even have a little video that they use. It says here from Shutterstock. They've embedded a video in the slider. It's got a whole finished menu, all somebody's default contact details, a logo, which is of course not mine or yours, and the content is all there. If I scroll up and down, see that whole area? That's called a portfolio area, which I've customized on my side, as you remember. Many more things down here. Now, with the click of a button in less than a minute, we have created the backbone of an awesome, awesome professional site. If you customize this site to what you need, and of course you can choose another demo. I'm just using this as one example. There is well over a dozen demos there ready to install. So if you have a site like this and actually use this for your business or for your brand, whatever, it will actually create some impact and will be very impressive for people to look at. All right, so we are getting ready to customize this site. The first thing we should probably do is refocus. Remember, I talked about efficiency earlier on in the picture. Now, the real time we've probably used to establish the website to where it's now is maybe 10 minutes, because we've set up the hosting, we installed WordPress in a few seconds, and we uploaded the theme and then the demo. So that didn't really take that long. So with a good measure of focus now, we will be able to customize this whole page, this whole site, and some of its subpages very, very quickly. So effectively, it'll probably take you a half hour, maybe a tad longer. Okay, now that might be a little bit over because I'll be explaining and showing certain steps, so it might take a little bit longer than that. But in effect, it's a really quick affair. All right, so first thing, revisit this. Make sure that you have actually downloaded the cheat sheet. Excuse me. In that cheat sheet, I've created one page that has all the timings for the video. So it'll show you at 33 minutes 50, that step happens. Or if you want to revisit how to install the theme itself, go to that timing. Yeah, so grab that, make sure that's handy, so you can pause and follow along properly. Now, the major key in this stage of the project now is preparation. All right, so what I've done, and I do this for every one of my projects, have a good look at this one. I create a new folder which has the project name or the website name as the folder name. In there, I create certain subfolders. One would be for logo, any of those things like the little favicon. What's a favicon? See, up here you can see the crocodile, which is the HostGator favicon that's installed itself by us using their WordPress installation. Now we want to replace that with our own. Okay, so we'll do that along the way with the logo. Obviously we'll have site imagery, so that's a folder that you'll fill up with images before you actually even go into customizing the site. Now if you use images in your sliders, this is where they live, so easy to find afterwards. In our case here, we're not actually using any sliders that have images. All the sliders on these pages here are actually using video, which is just slightly different. You may have chosen a different demo to the one called Agency, and you may need more image sliders, but I'm just showing this for explanatory reasons anyway. Now this is where I just parked the theme, the huge 200 and something theme file that I've downloaded that's packed in here. Now this is the little mind map that I've been using to explain to you how this all fits together, so you may not have that one. In here is a data file which has all the details like the WordPress logins and things we've done earlier on, that sits here, and this is the site content. Now we'll look at that in a minute, okay? In fact, let's just open that one right now. I'll bring that over in a second. In the meantime, I'd just like to look at the mind map. So basically what we're about to do now is expand this a little bit, all right? So the website theme, all right, you can call that the theme or the look. How about we call it the look? Right, how about we call this a website look? This is what we will now customize. Now in here, firstly, we're going to look at branding. So branding, and I'll break that down into different stages. So firstly, let's do the logo and the favicon. All right. Then we do the content replacement. So this is the content you have prepared, and I'll show you how to do this in the most effective way as well. Okay, then we will look at the overall feel of the site. Now what does that mean? That means colors and adjustments like that to make it actually look the way you like. Then we will give a very important thing. We will give it final touches. Now these are things such as the site security. These are also things such as setting up your first email address on the server so it works, and make it work in the website. That also includes search engine optimizing. Okay, now optimization, that's the Australian spelling, guys. I'm not spelling it incorrectly. I know you have a Z, we use an S. Okay, so these are the things we'll finish off with, and by the time we've done all that and walked through all this, you will have an amazingly looking site. All right, so how do I actually populate my sheet? Right, now have a look at this. Basically, if we start with the home page, I'll give you a visual quickly. I would look at what the home page has. So it has a video here at the top. Right, so I call that the video at the top. that has certain text overlay. All right, you see 3 overlays. There is a main headline, there is a small subheadline, and there is a button there. So I'll capture those elements just quickly as is. Now the button has text and it has a link somewhere. All right. Now if you scroll down, there's a column. There are columns below the video, which I believe there is 3 columns. There's 6 elements in here. So now with this predetermined designs, okay, I'm not always using everything they offer. Now these look really, really good. In this case, this is an agency design, which is very well used for, you know, a creative agency like myself, like a web designer or a graphic designer or similar. That fits really well. So you can showcase some of the work you've done. And you can put a little bit of a blur here, you know, telling about the things that you offer and just make it look rounded and sort of complete. Now you may not like all of these elements. By all means, feel free to replace and delete some of those. I'll show you how to replace them with something else along the way as well. But for now, to make it simple and just walk along, we will keep most of these alive and use them and just replace our own content into those areas. Okay, so first segment there, top video, columns here, then we've got, that's called the portfolio section, which also you see over here under services on the menu, sorry, our work, this one. So these case studies, there's 3 of them here, so there would be 3 of those that they've linked here. Obviously they're showing 6. I may skim that down to just showing 3 after, let's see. Then there is another button in here, another headline, another big image. That's not 2 images, that's actually 1 large image. This is what we call testimonials. So that's a whole function that runs on top of a background video. So there's video number 2. So what I've done, I captured all these segments here in the home page. All right. So divider, headline, portfolio section, the button, the next big headline, an image there, second video, one behind, testimonials over the top. Then these fancy things here, they're called creation to delivery, I call them, and then there's a bottom image below that, which is behind here with a bit of a text overlay as well. Text overlay. All right, so these are the areas on the home page that we will have to create and write our own content for. Now, what I normally do is I prepare that whole backbone structure first. Then I'll sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and start writing, and get my creative juices flowing all at once, because then I'll get a feel for what the whole website should look like, and it starts flowing from there. So it's very difficult when I hop from one to one, and I go, all right, let's modify this section. Now, how would that work in with all the others? No, instead, I've found from making dozens and dozens of websites, I'll create the backbone structure and then fill in the content. All right, may not work for you, it's just what flows better for me. The next thing I will do now is write out some content, create this separately. I won't show you every single word that I'm writing here. I'll give you the finished result, and then we'll populate the site. And before I go, let me just share with you the theme I have chosen for this website is called nature. So I've actually gone and found a whole heap of nature pictures and nature videos, and we will make this website look super stunning. Along the path, I'll show you where to find free and commercially usable images, high quality, and I'll show you how to search Google for them as well, and also obviously how to insert videos and all that. So let's start compiling some content. I'll be back shortly. Okay, people, let's rock and roll. Our content is done and we're ready to populate this site and make it look amazing. So what I do, I'm working on my second screen over here. That's the one that's being recorded. Let me just make a bit of room for the Word document on the side here. And I'll bring that in a little bit to about so. And bring over the Word. About so. Let's just grab that into this corner. Don't want the whole width. Okay, that's sufficient. That gives us pretty much access to all the text. Right, so what we're going to do now are a number of things. Firstly, relax. Don't get scared. I'm going to walk through this really quickly and literally just copy, paste, and talk fairly fast while I'm doing some of the changes. Now, firstly, it is quite intuitive. Sure, I've done this a number of times, dozens of times actually, and if you're quite new to this, it may look a little bit daunting. But don't, just relax. Don't be scared here. Number one, you've got the cheat sheet that hopefully you've downloaded. And one of the pages there has the actual timing for all the segments that we're going to be touching on. So it's absolutely super simple. Just go to, 33 minutes, 15 is that section and whatever. Run through, pause your video and review whatever you need to review. Secondly, you can't really do much wrong. If you save something incorrectly and it looks a bit funny, it'll probably take you 5 minutes playing around a bit with the different options. They are almost self-explanatory. They're very intuitive. And it is a lot easier than it may appear on the surface. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, to create a website like this would have cost tens of thousands of dollars, involved a whole bunch of coders to make this happen. These guys have done so much thinking for us that basically it is almost going back to childhood and using building blocks and just popping them into place one after the other, what works together, and in the end you've got a beautiful product that's inspiring for everyone to look at. So let's just do it, and I think you'll be very much amazed and surprised at how achievable this actually is. All right, so we'll be changing some menu tabs, we'll be changing content over here, we'll be changing all the content on pages, we'll be looking at sliders, all the things that you need. I'll drop a few tools in along the path and explain what I do with them and why they're really, they're free tools, why they're really good to use and what you can do with them. So firstly, what I've done is I looked up a bunch of videos on YouTube that I want to use to embed here. Then we'll actually look at the difference quickly between a slider and a slide itself. How are these guys assigned to pages? Where do you make those changes? Then we look at pages itself, like a whole page. How do you change content, wording, the page name? If you need to change that, because the demo obviously is very specific for the purpose that they've created that demo, it might not fit yours, so you want to change that. And also you might want to change menu tabs. I've said that before. So let's look at the home page first and start with that one. So we'll be walking fairly quickly. Stay with me closely, and as I said, if you're not sure if you get left behind a little bit, just mark the time or pause it, review it in writing and in the video, and very quickly you'll be on top of this, all over it. So we have two ways to edit a page. Right now we're on the home page. The taskbar at the top here is only visible when you're logged into WordPress. You can edit a page straight from here, and I normally do this. I'll just click, remember my mouse wheel, and it opens a tab which is the actual editor of that particular page or post, wherever you're in. I'll explain the difference between pages and posts in a little while as well. So now we're going into the page editor. The other way to get in there would be if we're in the dashboard of WordPress, the whole admin area that I've showed you before, how we log in. So down here you've got pages sitting there. There's two ways. You can click on the word pages, or when you hover on it, it comes over here. You can click on all pages. Same thing will open. Give you that whole list of all those pages that you've got in the site. These were all custom installed with your demo. We're currently working in the home page, and let's load it over here. So right now this is trying to load with my slightly slow internet today, trying to load the Fusion Page Builder, which is the backbone of the Avada theme, and that basically has the building blocks that I was talking about. Let's have a look at this when it loads. In the meantime, while this is loading, It'll come up any second. In the meantime, we'll just look at the sliders. So the demo, agency demo itself has installed a Fusion slider, which is the in-house slider that the guys at Theme Fusion who created Avada have packaged into their into their theme. Now there are a couple other ones, which is Layer or Revolution. These two are not yet installed. Some of the demos like the other sliders better or use the other sliders. This particular one here is only using Fusion slider. Now when you hover on this, you'll see there are slides and the sliders. So when you edit the sliders themselves, you can actually change settings such as the width of the slider, the timing, how when an image slide moves from one to the next, generally set at 7 seconds. It's quite a bit of a standard, but you may want to change this to faster or slower. Not much to change here. I don't have to open this up, but let's have a quick look at the slides themselves. So right now, this demo, as we've seen before when we looked at the individual pages, it has it pretty much has a video slider on at least each of the main pages. So you can see those here. They are just individual slides, and the one we're working in right now. So let's have a look at this one. It is easier to explain when you see it. So this is the one, they call it Home App Creation. We can change that to just Home Slider, a Home Slide. To be really clear, we'll just change it to Home Slide, okay? So that makes a lot of sense. It is assigned, the slide needs to be assigned to a particular slider. And when you're in the edit page, you scroll all the way down on this one, the page editor. So again, the slide's assigned to a particular slider, and the slider is assigned, here it is, to the particular page. That's how they show up. So had we installed the other sliders, the layer slider or revolution sliders, which both are actually really brilliant sliders, when you're a bit more advanced, you can achieve amazing visual results with those ones. So basically here is where you choose which one you use and which type of slider, and then which actual slider here. This is how it all fits together, okay? So we'll come up here again. So even though this slider shows up on top of the page, in the edit page, there's nothing you can change up here. It's all done in the other areas that I've just showed you. So after I'm changing the slide and the video, we'll come back here and work on that content. That should have loaded here. Okay, this is our home slide here. So right now it is set on a self-hosted video. So it means these guys at Avada are actually hosting a little video, which is this particular one here, on their server themselves. So we want to change this. You can delete it or just leave it at the moment because you're bypassing it by using a different setting. We're using YouTube. All right. Now I would love to use the Costa Rica 4K video, one of my favorites. So let's just copy the code for that one. And it says YouTube ID. All you need is this ID here. Pop that into there. And then let's look at the actual text overlay to make this a bit more appealing, less technical here. Right now it says welcome to the agency. I would like this one. We love nature. Control C that over here. Control V, copy it, paste it in. Scroll further down, there's a subheading. I call that the caption area. And I've got this one here. Creation is awesome. You make them a bit longer if you like. Maybe the top one, we love nature. And it shows. How's that? So, and there's a button at the bottom. All these slides have an option for 2 buttons. They could be side by side or on top of each other. Now there's a link inside a button, which, as it says here, it sits here between those little markers, and that's what you change. So I'll just delete that one In fact, sorry, I haven't got my link written down, so I've got to do it manually quickly. Just clear that out. Our page is called Creating My New Website.com/contact us. That's the page name I want to take that to when they click on the button. Purchase Avada. Down here we'll name that Contact Us. Alright, there's nothing else to do on changing the slide. YouTube's going to show up. Let's update this. Go back to the home page and give that a quick refresh and watch what happens. Look at that. Welcome to your new top of the homepage. Right, absolutely gorgeous. 4K video showing right up there now. Bit ugly over here with this logo that they're using, but we'll work on that, okay? Let's keep moving here. So right now, I'll bring that back over here so we can see our text. I would like to scroll down and start working on this area. So right now, I've got 6 elements here. There's 3 columns and 6 elements. I'd actually like to remove 3 of those and just leave that leave 3 of them there. Now, to make it easy, I've looked at what can I use that can relate somehow to nature, my theme of the website, my topic of the website, so to speak. So, well, photography, images, video. So I'm going to use these icons here. These icons sit in your media folder in here, in the library actually, in WordPress itself. They were installed with the demo installation. So what we're going to do here is change those, right? So which ones am I keeping? Sorry, come back to this. Okay, I want to keep, yep, those 2 are fine, they sit here. This one we need to change, and then we need to change all that text, and we'll delete those 3. All right, so let's hop into that. First one, so see those bottom content boxes? In fact, I can instantly delete those 3 down here, like so. Just click on the bin and they disappear. We'll see how that separator looks. We may not need it, but let's just leave that for now. And then we'll hop into editing those ones. Just open that. So you just click on that little pencil or pen here. It looks like a fountain pen. Right. There's 3 columns. I'm not changing any of that. What you find is many of those elements, the Fusion elements, they have their basic settings at the top, and the actual elements themselves are sitting down the bottom, and you can add to them. So here they're called content boxes. See those 3? Little trick to them: if you edit one, don't click save when you finish. Otherwise you'll hop back out of this and you've got to open it back up again. So go one, open the next one, open the next one, make your changes, save once, and you're done. So I'll just bring all that together. Word document. Here, this is our 3 columns. Headline, body, headline, body, headline, body. Let's just copy all that over. Alright, we're in the first one here. Oh yeah, we need to change that first icon. Remember, that was, I wanted to use photography for that. So here is the icon image. Let's just edit it. You can remove it and find another one, or you can edit and that way change it straight away. So this automatically opens your media library. Just have to look for it. There aren't all that many images, so it's still easy to find. It's probably on page 1 here. Yes, it is. In fact, it's that one. So we insert that instead. Now there it is. All right. We'll scroll back up to the headline. It's called responsive design. I would like to change that to art at its best. Bring that in. Scroll down to the content. That's that little text box underneath. Clear out. Copy this. And paste it in. Beautiful. Content box number 2. Headline here is premium sliders. Let's change that. I've got here creation never stops. Paste that over. We're happy with the icon on that one. Yep. So the content itself, let's get rid of the Latin placeholder and put in this one. And we go to number 3. And title is, how does that sound? Limitless Beauty. Bring that here. Again, we keep that icon that was about a video. Yep, that's close enough for now. You can already see, I mean, there are endless options. You can play around with this forever. And if you're a perfectionist and love detail, you'll be right at home with this. All right, 1, 2, 3. You could add another content box and change the number at the top from 3 to 4, then it'll resize them automatically. Right now we got them in thirds, and we'll save that. Now this doesn't yet show up, that save, even though I've made those changes. If I refresh the home page up here, it doesn't yet show up. We need to update the actual page content. Okay, while that wheel's running, the moment it changes to the other direction now, we can refresh and watch this. 3 will be gone and they will be changed. So we're gradually basically moving down the page now. Right at the top, look at that. We have our video, new overlay, and we have our customized content boxes here with the text that we like. You could change that alignment a little bit here if you wanted. I'm quite happy with that because it also resizes accordingly. If you, let's say you change this to your tablet layout, watch this. Bang. They resize to fit that way. So this auto-responsive design is absolutely brilliant. It works so well. Right, now what we've got here, down here, this is a part of the portfolio section. It also relates to over here our work, which is portfolio items. Now I only want to show 3 here as well, and then we'll edit those 3. I'll come back to those and we do them separately because they're a little bit different. And so right now we'll just change that setting and move on to this area here. So let's have a look what they look like. So we're in content boxes. This is the headline, recent projects we've completed for our clients, that one. So let's change that headline quickly. Again, it's just one little area in itself. So you go in and see, sometimes that actually disappears. So just bring that little edit window up. And we call the headline, we're now down here, the divider headline, I call it our favorites. Now, there's no text visible here. You know why that is? Sometimes that's a bit confusing. It's actually in white. So if you're working in a white background, you cannot see it. So what I do, I highlight it. And while I'm working in there, just to be sure, sometimes I actually change the color to black so I can see it. Now in this case, the editor has opened up without showing you the option. In WordPress that sometimes happens, so you need to click on this. They call it the kitchen sink, which basically opens all these other options as well to be visible. Second row here, right? Just click on that one. So in this case, let's just make that color black for now. In fact, I am pasting over this Control V with my favorites. I'll highlight it again and I'll change it back to white. So it actually works in the color scheme we have. There, it's gone, but it's still here. See that? Save it. Now I'm not just refreshing to have a look at that one. That's obviously happening on its own. Let's just go and have a look at recent works. So we do want the 3 columns there, but I only like to show 3 items. So right now, let's scroll down where it says 6. See, number of posts. So it pulls in 6 of your, they're called portfolio posts. I only want to show 3. Let's just change that number to 3 for now. And save that. Alright, before we move to this next larger area now, I'm doing a refresh just to have a look. Updating page. And here we go. We have 3 visible, headline changed, and forgot the button. Let's just do that one too. That button sits below the separator here somewhere. Where is it? There. It's a bit hard to find, and you could easily overlook this, but you can tell by the height of this one that there is another element in there. So let's just grab the button. I've already got the code over here, which will go into there. And won't change anything else. I'm happy with the size, the colors for now, everything, except the wording. So we make that contact us as before. And let's just save that. You can refresh that if you want, but that's fine, it's done. So the next headline we have down here is this one here. I'm calling that Being in Harmony. So we'll grab this, changing the headline. Now that's in black this time, as you notice, not a white one because it doesn't have a background. It's automatically centered from before. So here's an image frame that holds one image. Now quickly let's recap. All these elements here are called builder elements. How this page is set up is you start with a full width container, and there's a number of those. Each time a new section starts, we use a new full width container, and we pull a builder element as desired into here. For example, the content boxes. So you were to just grab and drag and drop this into here, right? So you can put another one. I don't at the moment. And then you edit them accordingly, right? So this is how these work. And the whole, as you know, like a child's toy box with building blocks, this is how we put this whole thing together. Quite self-explanatory. So we're down here, image frame. Let's have a look. This image frame only holds one very large image, which is this one here. I would like to replace that with one of my major images. So I've opened that up. Let's scroll down until we find the image. There it is. So again, you could remove it and replace, or you can just edit it and find a new one. Alright, now I'll come into this folder quickly here. Alright, remember we did a whole folder structure before where we have the logos, site imagery, slide images, and all these. I've actually gone onto one of my favorite websites. I'll show you that right now. That's called Unsplash, unsplash.com. Absolutely worth working with. It's brilliant. So you can literally just go in. You have total free license, reusable license here for any of the artwork that's on here. Basically, it does say do whatever you want, and these guys, thank you, allow us to do so, because it's often a bit difficult when you want to find something in Google. So let's say I look for something in Google here, and I'm looking for labeled for reuse. There, or label for reuse with modification. You might have found 5 million results in looking for not filtered by license, and the moment you bring it down for label for reuse or that, it probably loses 99% of the search results, and they become quite useless. So Unsplash is sensational. Let's say I'm looking for nature, for example, right? To search here, and you get all these high definition unlimited photos. You can scroll forever. So I've been working with those images quite a lot, and yeah, go ahead and do it. It's just brilliant. They are super quality. Again, thanks to all the photographers and the guys who put this together. So right now I'm in that folder, and let's just choose an image. Sorry, we are in here, so we need to load an image into the media library that we would like to use here. Sorry, what color would actually work well here? We've got the video at the top. This is fairly bland. These will be changed with nature pictures. Okay, I would like something down here that has snow. So we are in here. Let's bring in one of the snow pictures. Now the layout should be landscape. I like this one. Let's just use this and just drag and drop it into here. Wait till it turns blue. Now you can drop it and watch it upload. You can look over here already. I don't want to align anywhere, just let it do its own. I don't want to link it anywhere. And I'm going to choose, once it's uploaded, this is actually quite a fair size picture. Hang on, how big is it? Oh, it's a 4 megabyte picture. Okay. Well, some hosts have a problem with installing images larger than 2 megabytes out of the box when you first set up your website. You have to tell your host to change those settings, or if you know how to do it, change those settings yourself, so in WordPress you can upload more than 2 meg in image or file size. HostGator is not a problem. It allows you to go much larger than 2 megabytes. There it is coming up now. One other thing while we're uploading this, many of these images, there are the demo default images that were uploaded in the beginning. We're not using those anymore. So once I've done my whole website setup, often I delete quite a number of those to skim down the media folder and my storage space, and also just to make space to see the ones that I'm working with a lot faster when I open the media gallery. Yeah, so that's almost done. And let's just make sure we use a large enough size. Now that's too big, that's 5,000 pixel, that is huge. So I'd say we use large here, and we insert that into the page. Your normal website on a browser is about 1,000 pixels wide. So 700 here, which is what I've just chosen, should actually look quite good. Let's save that. And I want to do a quick update and have a look at it. There we are, refreshing. Wait for it, should load into here. Look at that. Beautiful. Higher res image. Good sizing. That fits in there very nicely. Being in harmony. Okay, now the next section here is a headline. There is a video behind here. There's some testimonials. And then another couple of areas down the bottom. So there's a bit more to go for the home page, right? So let's just fly through this. I'm moving forward in the Word document here and just find that area. Yeah, that was our image. All right, some words from our clients. Now that headline is this one, okay? So let's just change that. There. In fact, I haven't given that any text. Oh, that's right. I was just going to change that while we're there. What our fans have to say. That's something like that I wanted to put there. All right, now another one of those content boxes, testimonials. Let's just have a look at that. Again, generic settings at the top, testimonials as items down here. So let's just open the first one. Okay, this guy is Tommy Tallboy. We just leave that, and we just leave his image. And what does he say? He says, okay, the artists at your website
deliver outstanding nature photography and video work. I love coming back to your site and find out the latest updates. Thanks and keep up the good work.
Right. And who is the next one? Oh, that's his twin brother. And we call that Bob Jane. Interesting. He looks the same actually, but he has a different opinion. Okay.
Thanks for that recent post about the turtles in Hawaii. It was so informative.
Now you can save it. It has saved 2 testimonials. Before I refresh it, let's just look at the next section straight away. So that one is when you reload the page, this actually starts filling in. So it's a bit of a dynamic element. I'm not refreshing right now, but let's just change that while we're in the same wash here at the moment. So here, this headline now becomes From Thought to Stunning Footage. That's what we wrote down here. And save that. And now let's do one by one of those 5. Okay, I'm not touching the circles because the elements, because I like that. So, quarter, almost half, just over half. So I actually like that and just leave that. But we rename those ones. So meeting, I want to rename that. Now, this is basically, I'm talking here about the creative process. So the artist has a thought. The spark comes in, right? From there, what happens? Planning, we can leave that. Third one, I make that focus. Somebody goes out in nature to take photography or video, there's a lot of preparation involved. So you really need to focus on how you're setting up, your shoots and everything. Fourth one would be the shoot, and the fifth one would be the delivery. Let's leave that. All right, let's pop down here and change those. So first one here is, I made them a bit shorter. You have a thought, you feel that you must do this. All right, let's pop that one in here. A bit shorter, it's okay. Second one.
Here's this one. Copy, paste, save. One thing I'm trying to do is try to keep them roughly the same length so the boxes end up, because they auto resize as well, so the boxes end up about the same size when you refresh. This is number 3 here. Copy that one, paste that one in save, and copy number 4 and paste that, save. Last one. Here.
Alright, just a quick overview. Yep, they look roughly about the same. What else is underneath this? So that's all coming up now. The next one. Let's do it while I'm in here. Probably change that icon here. But I want to change the picture behind here and change those words. So let's just do that. Okay. The headline of this, give me a tad more space on the Word document. The headline is this one. Share your best with us today. Copy. That's that section. So you can now see already that these elements are actually quite easy to change. So this is the white color one again, hiding itself here. Control V. That should now pick up the same color. Watch this. Here. Save. Share with us your best idea today. The subheader. Wait. That's in here as well. Hang on. Which is there. Control V. Hey, that didn't quite copy in. Just make that black so I can see it. Yeah, that doesn't actually bring my copying across, so I'll just type it in. We welcome all nature contributions. And turn that white again. Rightio. All there. Yep. Save. And now we have a separator, and we do have an image behind it. Now the background image sits in the full width container, so you edit the container there and find the thing background, the tab background. There it is. So let's just edit that one, and we'll give this a new image. What are we going to use? How about we use something beachy here? I'm going to use this one. There. Just upload that. Again, that's a fairly large file. And if you look at the page itself, it's actually got a little bit of a color overlay to make it sort of semi-transparent. I'm just going to leave that for now. The colors should still come through quite strongly. And let's see what size we're using. I would like to use full size on this one, so even on very large screens it actually works. Change it. There it is. Save that. And let's have a look at this. Can we change this image? That rocket doesn't really fit into nature so well. What can we use here? What can we use here? Rocket. I'll probably have to upload something else and use here. For now, I'll just leave it. It's fine. Okay, save that. And we have one large item to go. Now you can't really see it because this is the footer already. We're basically looking at the end. There is one more content element which is brilliant. Modal. Now if you click on this one, a pop-up comes up. Watch it. So that's quite a really nice pop-up that you can put anything you like in there as well. They're a little bit more difficult to work with. So I'm going to go very simple and just keep the contact form here because that's good. And I'll just change this content over here for an image. So let's just pop into that one. This is this one down here. So if we edit this, we would love to hear from you. Yep, that fits a content page. And now if you look at that content, that's actually done in code, okay? So it's a little bit difficult to actually edit. Now, just have a look at this. I won't drag you into something too complicated, but let's just have a quick look at this. There's a this is called a shortcode. We'll talk about contact form later. Now, this is a shortcode that pulls in our standard contact form into a small column inside this pop-up that we just looked at, which is here. So it gives it 3/5 of 5/5 of a page. So 2/5 over here and 3 over there, which is nicely laid out. So we want to put a small picture into this. So let's just keep all that. So that 3/5 column starts here and finishes there. That's its content, which is that short code to pull in the contact form. So what we want to do is replace everything that's basically in the 2/5 column because we don't need any of this phone number or anything like that. Okay, so basically from here I'm going to go down here to find the image. So the image sits between those two columns, the brackets here. So we'll just delete that image. Right in here the cursor still sits between the brackets. That's where we will replace our image that we like, and we'll get rid of all the text down here very simply. Look, I don't want to complicate this at all. Alter this, get rid of this, and bring this one up. So right here we're going to input a new image. So how we do that is make sure the cursor blinks, click on Add Media. Alright, now we want to go back to our folder and have a look. The challenge I've got now is that these pictures are fairly large, and we need one that is in a portrait sort of layout. Do you want to use this one? 7 megabytes, that is huge. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I will just come back here quickly to one of the tools that I mentioned before and explain to you. Now, if you haven't installed and downloaded this free picture editor, it's called OrphanView. It only works in Windows. There are similar ones for Mac, but I'm working on Windows, as you can see. So I'm using OrphanView, and it's absolutely brilliant. So if I'm double-clicking on this image, OrphanView opens my images. Alright, now this is a fairly large file. Look, it's 4,000 by 6,000 pixels, far too much. I'm going to just quickly resize this one so it uploads a lot easier. So here I would go to image resize. This has a lot of awesome functions. Now, for a full page being about 1,000 wide, and we're doing 2/5 of 1,000, so it's about 400. I'd say I'll go 350. So to have a bit of a frame both sides, and I'll just resize that. Okay, that's done. Now I'm going to save that in the original folder, and that was called Snow 5. Let's call it Snow 5-small and save it. There it is. Okay, close the Irvine view off, and we're still in the media folder, so let's just bring the small one into here. Remember, when it turns blue you drop. See how quickly that uploads, because it's actually a much smaller file now. And again, this time we want to choose full size. There it is. Perfect. Insert that. So that now sits in between those two brackets. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to update the whole page, and we are pretty much done with the home page. Refreshing the home page. Let's look at this on a full screen to get the whole feel of it. Let's scroll all the way up. Hey, sometimes that happens when I resize the window, that my browser doesn't open up the video completely, but it's a browser issue, not website issue. So here we go. Beautiful, look at that. All right, let's come down a bit. We have our own little blurb here within some introduction. This will become major pictures once I change the portfolio items. We scroll further. A beautiful nature image here. A couple of testimonials. Oh, I haven't changed the video yet behind the scenes. All right, we'll do that in a tick. This is about how artists get to deliver their final work. The background image as we wanted it, super high definition, and that icon really doesn't fit, but I'll leave that up to you. You can pick an icon that you want and change that in your website yourself. So for now, one more thing I've got to do, which is that background video behind the testimonials. So we'll go back to the page editor once more. That would be, this is the testimonial section. The video would sit behind the full width container itself. So let's have a look at the container background. There it is. And currently it would have, yep, see, it's got that uploaded video that we talked about before. In fact, I'm going to throw this one out now because it's not needed. We are using a YouTube video, which is going to go into here. Now, where's our list? Word document, and homepage bottom. That's the one. I wanted to use an underwater one. So bring that into here. Save. Update. Before I update the homepage, you know what? I will actually just get rid of this icon. It just doesn't work down here. This one here. Let's just have a look at that image frame. In fact, bye-bye. Alright, so we'll update once more. And now we'll refresh the homepage. We should now have our fresh video behind there. And there it is, Underwater World. What doesn't work really well for me at this stage is the color overlay over that video is a little bit too strong. Why don't we tone that down a little bit to let more coloring of the video shine through, so and still be able to read the text. So let's just hop back into the editor for that one. This is the testimonial section here. Go back into the container itself. Remember, the video is in the background, so it's not in the element, it's in the container here. So background, this is where we put in our YouTube code. Let's scroll down a bit, you'll see the color come up. Here it is. Okay, well, for argument's sake, I'll continue with this color, even though you could change it, but let's just look at the opacity. Now, this is how transparent it is. The opacity ranges between 0, transparent, and 1, opaque. Example 0.4. So currently it sits on a very strong opaque. So how about we bring that down to maybe 0.5 just to see the difference, and save that. Update the page. Refresh the home page. Now that is better, don't you think? So we have a beautiful, colorful homepage, very lively, ready to go. The next area we'll tackle quickly, won't take long at all, is the header. So we'll change the logo and we'll fix up all this down here. Right, now that's found, header adjustments are found in the theme option. So you can get through this drop down here, is hover on Avada and theme options is visible. You click on that, it should open in general here. Or you can do it under appearance and theme options. That's the same one, that's why it's highlighted as well. So we'll scroll down and find header. Now let's look at header content options here. In that case, we have a header on the left, predetermined by this particular theme. So we'll leave it there, it works really well. I'm not changing anything. Now I just want to show you a couple of things. See this one here, the content number 1 is set for social links and the content number 2 is set for contact info. Now these are the socials here and contact info down here. So we'll make some changes to that. Header 3 currently is left empty. The options there are, we could have a tagline or a search bar. So we'll go and change some of that in a second, but let's just do this one here. So I would say we put an Australian phone number there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we put our email address here, website.com. Now if you don't want to show that on your homepage because you're worried about spam, then don't, leave it out. So here, see there's a tagline here. Okay, welcome to our website. I could put that there, but that's not going to show up until I actually switch on. It sits in this area underneath everything else. Now we can just save that for a moment and let's have a look at the header social icon. So right now it is showing 5 different icons. Let's say you only want a few of those. Now here are the different sizes of the icons that you can set up. What I would do, I'll make the icon font just a tiny bit larger and I'll pop up to the actual social media. See, that's another tab over here in the menu for the theme options. Where was it? Here, social media. All right. Now you'll notice there were 5 visible. Basically, in the demo theme, they've installed a character here which makes them visible. So firstly we'll take out all those characters. That means all the icons would disappear. And I will just put 2 there. In fact, I'll show you. So we'll take all them out. Which one? Dribble. And that was it, wasn't it? Okay. So I want to have Facebook. Let's say you have a Facebook page. HTTPS facebook.com and then / in our case it would probably be called creating my new website sorry, that's it, create my new website. Now I haven't actually set up that Facebook page, I'm just putting that fictitiously for you to see. And I would actually get rid of my visual email. So what I'll do rather, I'll pop down to email address down here and I'll put mail to, and how about we put info at creatingmynewwebsite.com. Okay, so that would give the instant command if anyone clicks on the mail icon to open your email program and start a new email straight to this email. Right, let's just save all that. Let's go to the logo. Now there are a number of different options. Okay, you've got high-res Retina version logos, you've got the normal logo, you even have mobile logos here. So you have one for sticky header, which is actually a different layout of the theme where the header sits on top, like across the top, and then when you scroll down it makes the header a lot smaller. In our case it just stays on the left, so we don't need this one here. Mobile logo, you could import a smaller one, which could be a quarter of the size of the normal one. So on phones and tablets you can make the header a little smaller. For now I'll just leave that. You can play around with that and actually see how it responds. Alright, very easy to use. But for now I'm just going to remove the Retina logo and I'm going to remove this one and I'll upload our new logo, which I have created a very simple one in about a couple of minutes. So that is here, and what size is that one? That's 596 229. That's the size I want. So I'll just grab that, got a bit of greenery in it, and let's upload it and select it. Here we go. And sorry, I forgot to look the size. 229 times 150. You put that size in here times 150. Alright, now come down all the way to favicon options. Now remember we talked about that briefly. This is our beautiful alligator sitting up here. Let's remove the crocodile now. So here is our favicon uploaded from our folder, and here it is, that tiny little thing. So we'll grab that. Now that is super small. It's only 16 pixel times 16 pixel. So really, really tiny, and it'll show up in the, there it is, show up in a second on the top of the screen. And again, you could upload all sorts of different icons that, for example, on the Apple software, you could save the icon to your desktop and then it looks like an add button. So many functions, this theme. Right, what do we look like over here now? Here we are. Okay, we've got our beautiful new logo, very simple. And we have a Facebook button that links. If you look at down the bottom left, you can see the link that goes to facebook.com, creating my new website. Perfect. This one links to mail to at info. If I click on that, it should open an instant email. Yep, it did that on my other screen, sorry. And down here, I'm not quite happy with that. So I'll get rid of this email address here because we have the button. And I will also change this because that should sit on one line. Let's just change that word. To do that, we come back to the header. Let's remove the email, just leave that blank. And contact info. We'll leave the phone number, which means we have to leave the content to switched on here. And welcome. Okay, we'll just leave that welcome as it by itself. Save, refresh. Awesome, I can work with that. Let's move on and populate very quickly the rest of the pages. So we'll move on to the next page, which is the About page. And in the Word document, we've advanced far enough to come to that one. So let's just open that one up here. Oh, you'll also notice that on the front end of the website, by now, we actually have showing our new little favicon. There it is. The alligator has disappeared and our own one's showing up. Now on the back end it doesn't actually show up. However, on the front end it does. So here we are, About page. Now all the different elements here again. I'm just going to quickly walk through this and move one by one. So we have a top video here. Remember where those were? Yes, you're right. In the sliders. So let's find the slide for the About page. So we'll go back here into our dashboard and scroll down to Fusion slider. Remember we've done this before, and we edit slides. We'll find the slide for the About. There it is. And let's just find our video up here, About Us top. There it is. It'll be a wild animal one. I'll copy that. Currently it's on self-hosted. Let's bring that to a YouTube video. We can just leave the other one there again. Bang, drop it in and update. Right, now in this, at the same time, I'm going to open this one to edit page with a new tab. So let's just see what the video looks like. I'll refresh that, let it run, and in the meantime just have a look at the page editor for this one. Right, that has loaded. So this is the editor. We'll get into that in a moment. The actual About page has loaded as well, and our video is now showing up the top. Two more small adjustments I'd like to make here. Number one, the video on top isn't all that high, so I'd actually like to get rid of the overlay text, so the heading area on the video, to make it fully visible. I'll remove all that, and then it also has a video color overlay which takes out all the brilliant bright colors that this nature video has. So let's just remove that one as well. Updates again. Right, now having updated this, look at what it looks like. This is the actual video without the slight color overlay. Looks beautiful in color. I'm happy with that. Let's move on. Let's just do a quick recap what we've achieved so far. Now we've done the home page basically with all its different elements. So we've worked with videos, video overlays as in text, headlines, color overlays to make them look through a lot stronger or a bit less if you want. We worked in the page builder. We looked at all the different elements inside, how the page builder works in this Avada theme, how the containers work, how the elements inside the containers work, how you put background images, working on the container itself, or how you actually populate the elements with text, images, and all the different content. And we've fixed up our header to our liking. So we've really achieved quite a lot already. Now, initially I talked about populating together with you all the other pages. Now I think this is actually very similar work to what we've already done, so I don't want to bore you to death and get you to fall asleep in the next 15-20 minutes. So what I will be doing now is populate from the Word document the other pages content, you know, the text and images and videos on those myself, and I'll come back when that is done, because there's still a couple of items left that I want to do together with you. That would, for example, be the portfolio items. Just want to make sure you understand how all that plays together. And also I would like to work on the footer down here. Just quickly get that one as desired. I would like to get you to understand how the menu works in WordPress. And largely, I want to quickly build a page from scratch, just for a few elements, so you see how it actually works when a page is entirely empty. We'll probably use the services page for that. and then we'll hop into creating an email address on the server and also implementing website security and just some of those last few items. So let me go ahead and populate the other pages, and it's basically the same thing. So once you've got the list of timings in the video, you can just go back and review as much as you want, even if you are on another page. Let's say you're working on that one or the about page yourself later, you can review it as we've done it on the home page. It is identical. It's very simple. I'm sure you've got it by now. And yeah, it won't be too long. We'll be finished with this awesome website and the tutorial will be through with it. I'm looking forward to that. It's great fun. So, yep, see you shortly. Hi there, lovely people. I'm back. I have spent the last 15 to 20 minutes populating the content to a couple of those subpages here. And I'd love to continue with now in doing the remaining items that we've talked about. So what we'll do, we look at this page here called services. We'll probably rename that, but we'll actually delete some of the items and elements on that page and build a few new ones from scratch, just so you get a real good feel for that, rather than just use what's offered. We'll look at our work and work in one or two of the portfolio items to see how they then reflect on the home page and also on the all projects, or like a portfolio page where you showcase some items. Okay. We'll also quickly hop in the blog, delete all the blog posts that are there apart from one. That one we'll just quickly rename and maybe put a new image and some new content in there. So we use what's there already. And I'll show you how you can work with your blog on a daily basis if you like. I've also done the contact page. Lastly, we'll jump down and have a look at the footer. So quick review, this is our home page. We've got our video up here, really lively, different elements on there, lots of video. Basically, this is how it all comes together. Zip. From an idea to delivery. Same here actually in this page website creation project. Okay, so this is our home page. Happy with that. I'm ready to let that go. Now let's look at the about page. So I've done the content on that one. I've pretty much used what I had written down on my worksheet there before. I've placed another video in the top, quickly changed the headline, changed that headline, changed an image. Let's come down here a bit. It had these different items there, which are like flip items, okay, where there's text in the back and text in the front. Now I haven't changed the icons because I haven't yet found any. I want to find better icons online than those ones. Have to do a little bit of digging. Here we go. We've got another little video running in the back behind this. 7 billion people, one Earth, and one chance to get it right this time. Now this is a bit of a philosophical section here with some images. You can play around and make things look really, really inviting and professional. You know, rounded corners on the images, direct links to share things on Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else. It just looks so appealing and inviting. And down the bottom, this is a Google map that's implanted. Now I've got another one on the contact page, but you can actually have, this is a live Google map. You can have different versions, different looks of that. So you can zoom in even on the map and make that look. Even change it. It's an actual Google map that's implanted, so it's live and it moves around. See that? Nice image behind that, and that is our About Us page. I'm super stoked with this one. Very happy. Next one I've done was the contact page. Again, that was a pretty much set up one already. I chose a beautiful 4K butterfly video on this one. Then I actually deleted a couple of elements in there that I really didn't need. Again, this has a Google Maps. I've changed some of the markers just to show you what's possible. So there's Hawaii, there is Western Australia, there is Spain, and down the bottom it had, excuse me, it had a space for our logo, and then just change the text a little bit. There's another small element I'd like to show you. That's a popover. See this little blue text here? If you hover on that, it actually brings up like a little tooltip where you can explain a word a bit more. And I see I've got the art of opening. I've got a spelling error in there, so I need to fix that up afterwards. That's the actual contact form, which is linked to the email address that we have planted in the website. And down here, I've again put our email, which we're yet to create on the server. I'll show you how that works. Beautiful image down the bottom. Now, here is our link to the contact page as well. And in fact, hang on, that button down the bottom I have overlooked, so I'm going to delete this one. I'll go back into the editor on that page and actually delete this one because I don't need to link to the contact page. We're already on it. Right, that is probably 20 minutes of work, and we will now move on together to the services page. So we'll delete quite a bit of that, change a few things here, and embed and implant a few new elements. We're going to have some fun with that. I've already gone in and opened up the slide, installed a new YouTube video code in here, and I've also changed the headline. So while I'm updating that one, we can go straight over to the page editor for the particular page. All right. So this is the one called services. Now, slider, again, not visible at the top. I would like to make some changes here. Now, what I've done here, I've created just a written up simple headline here, which goes into this section. Save that. Okay, I would like to get rid of pretty much most of what's here. That whole section will disappear. Instead, I'm putting in 2 half containers, one of which has a checklist on the left, and then on the right hand side, the half container will have a video embed sitting in here. Then this one down the bottom, yep, we'll probably keep that. We'll change the background image and change that text. Okay, and I'll probably remove most of the other sections and leave this page fairly empty. Really what I just want to show you is how to work with a brand new element. Okay, so why don't we just go quite ruthless here, and from that headline downwards that we've got here, we'll delete this one. Okay, let's keep the separator just for now. Let's get rid of this one, the whole box. Let's get rid of those 3. In fact, you can just remove that whole full width container, deletes everything that's in it. And ruthlessly, we'll do the same again. Get rid of all this and get rid of all this. Right, we're down the very bottom. I don't like this pop-up on that page. And we are pretty clear to go. So why don't we just update the page and take a look here as well to see what our clean slate looks like. So yes, we have the new video, an overlay, and a small headline. And in here is where we'll do a bit of work. Okay, so you can get a real feel for what it's like to start with items from scratch. All right, let's come back to the editor here. So nothing in there. Now I would like to insert a full width container here. Let's just drag that and drop it straight into here. Here it is. Now in here, I would take 2 half width elements, 1 and 1 more. You can also just click on clone. It automatically clones the second one. Same result here. Now let's go to builder elements. I'll scroll down a bit. See this builder elements here? We looked at that before. So what I like to input here is a checklist. So I'll grab a checklist from here, plant that into this box, and I want to put a YouTube video into this box. We can do this one really quickly. We'll just edit the YouTube video, which is, the code is down here on my Word doc. Grab that and put it straight into here. Bang. Width 600. Let's bring that down to about... Now let's just leave that there and see what it looks like. All right, I'll save that. Might just work really well. So we come back down here and we get started on our checklist. So we'll go straight into the checklist itself. I would like to set a global setting for the icon which shows up on every single one. I don't like to have different icons on this list. Sometimes I do. However, here I want to have a global setting, which is just a normal tick, just a normal check mark. And we'll give that one a very green color. Let's just choose this one for now. Then we go a little bit darker. Really strong dark green. About that should look really good. Do we want to have an icon circle? No, we don't. I just like the check mark to stand out by itself. And we'll make it... Let's leave it on 13 pixels, that's the icon size, and change that if it doesn't work afterwards. Okay, here are our checklist items. So we are in need of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 I've got here. So let's just create a few more. 2, 3. Unfortunately, you cannot create a bulk with a predetermined number. You've got to actually go through one by one, but that doesn't take long. 9, 10, and 11. And let's jump into the content for those. So we're not touching any of the settings. If you choose a different icon here, it does override the global setting we've done above. So I'm literally just going straight into the content here. And just copy that straight into here. Be prepared, plan well. Item 1. Item number 2, here's my content. Know your gear. Now for a photographer or a videographer, these are self-explanatory. They're not bad tips, actually. I found them on Google and compiled from a number of different blog posts. Now, we all know that practice makes perfect, so that's a good one to go in here. Practice. And then we'll save it all. Let's update the page. And let's have a look what happened here. Okay, here's our checklist. Here's a video. And lastly, I will actually delete that image box, the full width container down here as well. And then I think we've seen enough to understand how it actually works to create a page from scratch. Okay, so let's just hop back in and delete this one. Down here as well. Hang on, it was right here. That's the container. And while we're here, let's have a quick look at. So far, we only looked at, very early in the picture, we looked at the bottom of a page editor, the setting for sliders, that we have to actually assign a slider if there is one. Okay, now there are other settings there as well. I'm currently on header, so you can actually turn the header off per page. So this is all very flexible. So if I want to turn off the header and I click no here, this whole segment would section here would disappear and the page would be full width. So you can do this on a page-by-page basis. You can also look at the footer and have different areas in the footer. You can turn off or on, for example, your copyright section, which sits down here, okay, or certain other areas that are in the page. And these are pretty much self-explanatory. Again, I encourage you to just play around. This is pretty much a learn as you go environment, where once you've built a certain page, you can actually set up a new draft page that I do very often, just to play around and see what results I get when I do something. So you don't have to do it on your live site. Basically, you can set up a draft page which you keep in the pending status, and then literally play around and make, see what it looks like, what you like and what you don't like, and what works together and what doesn't. Colors, sizes, and all those sort of things. Excellent. Okay, well, that's pretty much this page. So I'll just save that and we'll get out of here. And the next area we will look at now is the menu tab names. How do we change those? Where are those controlled? And we'll change the footer together. Okay, so to do that, we leave our services page that we've just created and we will go back to our dashboard. Now in the dashboard, you see on the left again the appearance button. Just hover the mouse on that and scroll down to menus until you see menus. Now let that load. In the meantime, we'll have a quick look at this. This page really is about great nature photos, okay? So what I want to do is rename the services button, tab, on the menu, and give that a slightly different name. Here's our menu. That's the services tab. So appearance, menu. Once that loads, you can actually go into each one of the tabs and simply rename it. How about we name this Great Nature Photos? So it's not too long. Now this is excuse me, this is connected to the original services page, so it doesn't really fit the name of the tab here that well. So we need to go and change this name in the page as well. So we'll just update the menu and move over here to pages, where we find services down here. The way to do this quickly is quick edit. So we'll rename the page to Great Nature Photos, and we'll rename the little slug, which is the end of the URL, as well, to Great Nature Photos. Update that one. And let's quickly just go back to the home page and refresh that. And we should see our menu tab name for services changed here to Great Nature Photos. Now if we click on that, we should still end up on the correct page. Perfect. Okay, see it up here? So it's changed the slug. That's that little extension here. It's changed the actual page name, and it's changed the menu tab. Next one. A quick look now at our footer. Footer is done in the theme settings. So let's go back, hover on this Avada, come down here to theme options, or again go through appearance and theme options here. You can use either entry. Let the options panel load completely. And then you find the area over here that you want to work on. Of course, in this case, it's the footer. So let's have a look and just scroll down. Now, footer works for me. The colors and all the settings that I have at the moment, I do not really want to touch those. So I'll just come down and look at the content. And basically that's all it is the copyright text. So how about we'll put in there copyright 2016 and we name it creating my new website, all rights reserved. We can leave that, or I'll take that out. I'll remove that whole section. Powered by. If you like to leave a reference and link to WordPress, our beautiful content management system, fantastic. Or if you're making this site, maybe even for a client who's paying you reasonable money for this, you obviously want to change this and put your own link there. So I would, in this instance, I'll put in site by, and I'll put my professional web address in there, and I'll put my name in there. Let me create it, and that's it. Let's get rid of all this, don't need all that. That will give us a shorter footer with everything we need. Refresh your page, and we scroll down to the footer, and there it is, copyright 2016, creating my new website, and a link to the external site here. Perfect, that's all I need down here. Now at this point, there's a couple more things we want to talk about. Of course, we said we'll do our blog page, just change that, and then look at our portfolio items. Well, we'll do those now, and then lastly, we'll quickly touch on styling. Okay, once I've created a site like this, let's say it's for a client, for example, I would then get those last two items ready, and then I would deliver that site as a first major draft to the client. I would then sit down again and have a look at the fine tuning, and I would then go through fonts and maybe change the size of some of the text and change some of the colors here or there. Now a lot of these little settings are done in the theme sections, especially if you're in Avada here and you go into typography and styling. You can achieve any look of font, any color, out of the hundreds of possibilities, probably thousands of possibilities and combinations that you can implement here. You can achieve such a fine-tuned site to your heart's content or your client's content. There is really no limit to what you can create with this theme. Now over to the blogging part. That's very easy. So if you open the blog page, you can see that we've looked at that before. There are different versions of blog posts. Okay, where they're found is basically in the dashboard under posts. You can see them all here. Now I'll delete all bar one, and I would like to keep, let me see, there's a few similar ones that are just images and text. I want to keep one of those that has image and an excerpt of the text. So let's keep this one. It's called Nullam Eget Elidante, and we'll go into here. That's this one right here. So if we highlight all, unhighlight this one, and we'll delete everything else, move to trash. This is our blog post that remains. Now let's edit this one. And what would be better than to write a welcome post for the new website that you've just created? I'll start with the URL extension up here very quickly. You can actually edit this one. So welcome to our new website. That would be this one. Let's get in here and delete all this Latin text. And right up. Make sure you're on the visual tab, not on the text tab. And I would say write up a heading here.
Welcome to our new website. Okay, we are pleased to announce the completion of our brand new website. Creating my new website.com.
I'll give that a link. Helps with your search engine rankings. So just copy that. You can actually also find it here on the home page. There it is. And just add the link.
Of our brand new website, full stop. After much toil and sweat, we have finally done it. Everybody in the team is looking forward to making this a real success.
Alright, you can of course continue here, and now we'll change these this featured image, which is the one that will firstly show up here in small and also in the light box. So there are two things on one of these images in the actual blog page. One's a link to the post, the other one's a lightbox image that opens up when you click on it, like this, a bit larger. Okay, so let's just set the featured image, and I've just deleted, and I'll grab a really colorful one from our media library that we've got already. This is one of my favorites. Let's just take that and put it in there and update the post. And this is our blog page showing our one and only current post. Beautiful lightbox image here, little excerpt of the text, and of course if you click on read more, it will take us straight to the actual blog entry. With the text just below it. How do you create more blog posts? Very easy. Just go back into in the posts area over here. We've finished this one, so just add new here. What I'm missing here on this blog page is a nice headline to welcome people to the blog. So we need to actually edit not the post itself, we need to edit this blog page here. So let's just do that quickly. I am again in the editor for the blog page this time, and let's just scroll down to the different Fusion page options here. So we're currently on slider. Let's move down to the page title bar. I suspect that is turned off. Yes, the page title bar is turned off, so we cannot actually see a headline up there. Let's just turn that one on, and I'll choose bar and content to have a color behind it, and let's just give it a name, our blog, and refresh the update here, and then we'll go to the home page and click through to the blog. We should now have a blue title bar with a white title on it showing up on our blog page. There it is. Perfect. Now there's only one major construction item remaining that we wanted to talk about, which is a portfolio item. So let's work on one of those, so again you understand the principle, and then you can roll out all the other ones yourself. Let's move and jump over to there now. So the first thing we do is, back on the home page, have a quick look at these three portfolio items here. We will change the pictures to look more nature-like, obviously, to fit in with the website. Now let's take a look at the portfolio items. Hang on, we just check their names. That one's called Branding Harmony, that one's called Mobile App Creation, and that one is Logo Creation. So if I go to the list of portfolio items in our admin and click on portfolio, it opens all those ones up. You can see the three that we're talking about right at the top. I'll delete all the others for now. Untick the three we want to keep, and we go move to trash. Now the good thing in WordPress is when you move items to the trash, they don't actually get deleted fully right away. You still have them sitting in here. So if you change your mind after, or you remember you deleted an incorrect one, you can bring it back, just go back to trash and restore it. So we now have our three portfolio items. those ones here, which we would like to keep. Now what we'll do is look at one of those items and check out how to change the image quickly. So I'll bring that one up. I believe it's this very first one, which is called Branding Harmony. Branding, yep, that's the first one, is Branding Harmony. I opened all three of them up already to save time. The image that shows on the home page is changed down here. It's actually the featured image. So if I remove the featured image quickly and set a new one by clicking here again. Now you'll note I've already uploaded 3 featured images, one for each of those portfolio items. Now these are a particular size, so what I've done in my OpenView image editor that I've showed you earlier, I cropped these 3 images to the correct size. Now what they're using here was 1170 × 700, so I've literally gone through those large images that I had before in my folder and cropped them down. So I want to choose, for the first one that shows up on the left, I want to choose this one. Okay, so set featured image, and here it is. Hang on, gone too far. Yep, showing up right here. So I've already done the other 2 posts to make this easy for you. Same thing, 1 and 2. And now if we refresh our home page very quickly and scroll down, we should see our new pictures for portfolio items. Here they are. Brilliant. That looks a lot nicer inside our topic of nature and photography and beautiful imagery. So the names currently are still the same, still Branding Harmony, Mobile App Creation. So you can change those to your heart's content. And in particular now, I am not going to walk you through yet again in another instance how to change page content. This is basically just like another page, like we've done a number of times before. Build with the builder elements using the column containers, different widths, and basically what works really well. Obviously this is a very technical one here, so if you want to use something in your your personal layout and setup and topic that you will build for your website, make use of what Avada offers, all these items here. So I'm leaving all 3 of those particular portfolio pages untouched. There is one more really particular and important item that I'd like to take your attention to and walk you through how to solve those. So that basically these portfolio items currently also sit over here under our work. Okay, so let's do a couple of more in-depth menu items, like rename those tabs in a particular context. I will also show you how to turn this Our Work tab that's sitting here as a top level menu tab, and when you scroll down here and look at your bar on your browser, you can see that it actually leads to a page called Our Work. I want to turn this into what we call a blind tab, so it opens basically the drop downs and gives you the options of pages underneath, but itself does not lead anywhere. That's quite a desirable thing to have in many menu setups. I use that quite a lot, and you will find that a lot on the internet. So we will work that on a blind tab, and we will then look at also working on some other issues on menus. So let's do that now. So here we are in the menu section. Again, under Appearance and Menus, you find the whole menu structure. So if we look at this Our Work area here, you'll notice that the Our Work tab is actually a page, so it links directly to the Our Work page. What if we don't want this? What if we just want this to be as a top level tab that opens when you hover the mouse over it, hovers the drop down to the pages underneath? What we would need to do is actually create a custom link. So if you look over here, this is how that's done. So you open a custom link and you just type whatever into here, just type whatever into here and add that to the menu. It shows up down the bottom. Now we can edit that custom link and we'll take out the content here. So the URL is non-existent. The navigation label becomes Our Work. So we type that into here again. So it actually looks the same now. So if you close this custom link, and you notice it goes nowhere, okay? There's nothing down the bottom that it links to. So you can now pull this one up straight above here, and I'll delete this one. There it's gone. So now all our other ones have slipped into the front line as well. There would now be top level menu tabs, which will change your whole menu. So what we'll do, we'll pull them back out again here to sit under this one as a sub tab. Alright, so the case study 1 comes out. While I'm at this one, I'll just rename that quickly. Study 1, that was snow. Remember the picture? Let's rename this one to vivid colors. Now this does not change the actual name of the page of the portfolio. This just changes the menu tab name. So pull that out a bit and grab the third one too, and we call that spring because it was quite a spring item image. Everything else is still the same. So now we basically have a dead link or a blind link at the top. Let's just save the menu, refresh the home page, and see the result over here is if you go onto our work, I can no longer click on our work. Nothing happens if I click on it. It's become a blind link, and the pages underneath are now, the tabs are now named as I had them before. So you can access all the pages that are still there. However, you can't go through here anymore. Okay, one more thing, back to menus. I'd like to quickly explain a thing called hidden functions in WordPress. Now, while we're in menu in this area here, this is particularly relevant because over here you see a few items here such as pages, posts, the custom links we've just done, and categories. Now, look over here, you've got portfolios. This is how the theme demo installed it. Now, where would you find these portfolio items? Let's say you have more portfolio items as you create another 3 and another 3 and whatever, and you want to add them to the menu in a particular area. Where would you find them over here? They're not under pages, so if I even get out of most recent and view all my pages, the portfolio items aren't here. They're not under posts. Remember, we only have one post. We've deleted all the other blog posts, so it only has one here, even under view all. Yep. Custom links, of course, is a separate function. Categories only shows the 2 blog categories that are set up at the moment. So where do you find those hidden items? Now, let's just run through an example. So how about I delete that one? I'll delete the snow portfolio item, and I'll scroll up to the right-hand top corner. There's a section here called Screen Options. Click on that, and you have a number of other options and boxes that you can show that aren't actually used right now or visible right now, maybe because they aren't used quite as much, but there is one for portfolio. So if you just click portfolio, it's just added itself down here to the menu options. All right, so let's close that one again. And now we can go into a portfolio and look at our branding harmony. That's the one that I renamed as Snow. Because the actual page hasn't been renamed, only the menu tab, it still shows up as branding harmony. So I'd like to add that one back to the menu, showing up down here, put it back in its spot where it was under all broad projects, and rename it back to Snow. Now this is quite a crucial thing. Sometimes in my early days this was super frustrating, trying to look for functions and boxes, forgetting that up here the screen options actually had hidden them. So if this ever happens to you, think about this particular one-click solution. All right, this is it. So we'll have to resave the menu and we'll be back to where we were. Right, we are pretty well sorted with all the functions and items that I wanted to show you on the website creation. And we can now hop over. I mean, we don't need to look at the whole site another 10 times. It is beautiful, has come up really well, just as we liked it. We could now go and spend another, maybe half an hour or an hour on fine-tuning fonts if you're not happy with the fonts, or fine-tuning tabs, menu colors, and just little highlights here and there, and really get this 100% top-notch the way you like it. Now, this is something I will leave up to you, and I normally, for my clients, would have a get-together with the client now after I've got this package ready to present, and from there we'll fine-tune those little items. Now, what we will do next, however, is more technical and is a very crucial thing, because we haven't yet got our contact form really working. It is set up, it is designed, the look is there. However, we need to now go into the server again at HostGator and create the email address that we want to use to work in our contact form. And then also we set up the email address quickly on our Outlook and make sure that everything flows. So we'll test it back and forth, make sure it all flows, and only then I will sign off. See you shortly. Do you remember how to get into the host panel, the control panel for HostGator? Basically, what you do is you add a / and type the word cPanel behind your domain name. That's the main domain that you've purchased the account with. So if you added other ones down the track, it won't work on those ones. It just works on the actual main account that you've got. In this case, that's our first domain that we added, that we bought it under. So click on cPanel and it'll take you through the login page into your cPanel or control panel here. Okay. We then look down here under Mail for email accounts, and we'll click on email accounts. Now, if you can't remember exactly the password to log into the cPanel, you go back to your initial welcome email that you received from HostGator here when you first set it up, and it's called your account info. That mail has the login link, password, username, everything that you need to reach your cPanel. So let's just get into here. We clicked on email accounts. We're now creating a new email, which is called info. In our case, I want to use this one. I'll use the password generator. So they create quite a complex password for me. Let's just say I have copied this password to a secure location, and I will actually do so. Now guess where that one goes? That one goes back into your data text file that we've created in our special folder. So jot that one into there, info at your domain name or whatever you create, and the actual password. So let it generate a really complex one, unless you've got a very good naming convention that you can use and you remember. So I'll use this password. It puts it here. That's a very strong one. I'll set up the mailbox quota. Yep, it's set by default at 500 megabyte, which really doesn't matter much to me, because in my Outlook I'm changing the settings so that it takes those ones down off the server after a while once they've been read. And that's basically it. So let's create the account. Done. Here it is. Now remember that password. You're going to need that to set it up in Outlook. All right. And we move on to Outlook. There are a few points to take note of here. So I'm in my Outlook at the moment. And let's say I click on File and brings up a drop down, for Add Account. So if I open that up, it brings up the window for Add Account. So we'll walk through this in a moment. And I'd like to do it manually so you see all the different settings. In the meantime, let's just go back quickly to the cPanel. One of the beauties of this HostGator hosting is that they have some really, really good help files, and it's very easy to access. So it's just at a fingertip. You don't have to make a support call or lodge a ticket. You can literally find 9 out of 10 answers on the spot. So you go down here to just walk me through, just click on that. It opens a little window, a pop-up comes up, And in this case, I'm looking for my email service. So let's just say I type in email servers and wait for what it brings up. Okay, something. I'll grab this one. It says Outlook. All right. Opens a new window, and here is a support article about setting things up in Outlook. Now, for example, I was looking at what mail service to use in my Outlook setting. All right, so this has pretty much all the explanations that I need. Right, so I'll leave this window open and I'll hop back into Outlook here and bring back the add the account. So let's just do a manual setup down here. I'm going to use a POP or IMAP, which is what it just said. So my name will be creating my new website. The email address is info@creatingmynewwebsite.com. I'm just going to copy that last section here because I'll need it a few more times. Control C. So let's use an IMAP account. IMAP is probably the better one to use because you can sync various devices like your phones and your computers and your laptops back to the server a lot better than on a POP account. Now, the incoming mail server here is very simple, and we'll just go back to our picture that we've got here. So the incoming mail server is mail dot and the domain name that we've got, and the outgoing is the same thing. So we'll just start with that one. So we'll put mail dot and then I'll paste what I've just saved back in, and I'll do the same again, mail dot, paste that one, username info at, and I'll paste it in. See, now I've got the whole address there. Remember my password? I will just bring up the password over here from my data file, which I've just saved in the data file a moment ago, and it's down here. So I'm going to grab that one, put that into here, tick remember password, and let's just see what other settings they need. Incoming mail port, that's generally set for standard 143 for IMAP, and I'll try 587 for outgoing in a moment. Okay, so no SSL boxes should be checked. Account name is the full email address, we put that, password. Do not select secure password authentication if offered. Alright, so we don't do this, we'll just go next. That should now automatically test the settings. Now it's logging onto the servers. It's found the incoming one, and let's see if it can send a test email. Yay! We are good to go. Finish. This has now added our account right down here, and it sent our test email message. Creating my new website, info@creatingmynewwebsite. Awesome. So we've got it set up in Outlook. We're receiving. The next step now is we're setting this email up inside the website as well as the contact form, and then we'll be sweet, ready to go. Now, the first thing we will do with our beautiful new email address is to go to General Settings in our WordPress admin under Settings General and pop it into here. Okay. To make sure the whole website functions on that email address. We save our changes. Then let's take a look at the contact pages and the contact forms. All right, now there are a couple of issues at the moment. This beautiful contact form 7, which is one of the leading forms, and Avada uses it as a standard installation, had in the last week or so had a major update to version 4.4. During that update, Contact Form 7 introduced what they call a validator of each contact form. Now that validation seems to find a lot of small errors in some of the earlier configurations that people have created, and still were able to send email. Now some of the issues that came up were that you can only send from an email address that is on the same domain name as the actual website. So if somebody were to put in a different email address, that wouldn't send. So now Contact Form 7 has actually more or less forced this issue by validating each of the contact forms that you have on the website. Now, again, in good German efficiency manner and fashion, I will just create a new one which has the correct settings. You can, if you have an existing website and have Contact Form 7 on it already and you're a WordPress user now, you can just copy those settings that I'm using with the new form that's being created, and those issues will disappear for you. But I will not go through each and every one of those ones here and fix them up, because the issue is virtually all the same. So what we'll do, and where are the locations that we have forms, you may remember, we've kept one on the home page down the bottom here in this thing called modal. So if we click that and the pop-up comes up, that has one contact form. So we will change this one quickly. And we have one on our contact page, of course, down the bottom. We'll address this one as well. Right now, the auto demo install has created a bunch of them. So a couple of those will be used. I think that one's the one used on the contact page, and I believe this one is used in the modal on the home page, but it really doesn't matter. We'll create a new one, put that new one into all those locations that we've got, and then we'll get rid of those ones after the original ones afterwards, and we'll be sweet. So the first thing we'll do is add new contact form. I do not need separate contact forms in this website. If you want to track, let's say you have various contact forms on your site and you like to track where certain responses are triggered from, it does sometimes pay to create various forms, and then in the end you can see actually which one has generated the lead or the inquiry. So here let's just go very generic. I would say we name this one Use Everywhere to keep that simple and straightforward. This is what Contact Form 7 auto-generates, the code. So it's asking for your name, excuse me. It's asking for your email, and it's asking for subject. I also want to make the subject a required field. So add required, in a bracket there. Just leave one space in between here. Add required there as well. Your message, of course, is a required one, and submit. Now have a look at this mail button before you save. That has automatically inserted the email that I've just put into general settings. This is very important. A lot of people make a mistake here. They have an email address in there which is not part of the domain name. That's why the validation fails. The reason this is included is that a lot of hosts and servers these days try to prevent spam, and they knock back emails that are not coming from the same domain that they're sent from. Because a lot of spammers and hackers were using this spoofing technique where they were hiding the domain they're actually sending from. So this is all quite straightforward. Reply, yep, that is fine. It's even generated this one down here. Look at that. So we will save this. That should actually validate correctly now and give us a new form code. So it's created this new form code up here, Contact Form 7 ID so-and-so, title, Use Everywhere. So let's just copy this. If you click on it, it highlights. I have to highlight it, go copy. And let's hop into the home page editor, which I've opened up already. So the Fusion Builder is open. We scroll down to find the modal, which is that little pop-up that we were talking about a long time ago. We'll pop into here and look at the content on that one. Some of you may remember that we had some code in there, which I've changed with a logo and just a little bit of text. So scroll down until you find the content. Remember I put an image I put in there. Here, this is the actual line where the contact forms determined. So we swap that out. We get rid of this one. and paste in our correct form now. We'll save this and we will save and update the page. Now let's go to the contact page and look at this one down here. So in the contact page editor, same thing. This time it sits in next to the logo and phone number and stuff we had on the left. It sits over here in this code block. So don't click on the actual container in Fusion Builder, click on the code block itself in here and you see one of the other old forms in there. Again, we'll get rid of this one and paste in our use everywhere new form, save and update. And now you update the home page, refresh it once more so it actually reflects the new contact form. Let's have a quick look in here again, right down the bottom. Okay, that should be the new one, and the same with the contact us. Refresh that page and let's scroll down. That should now reflect the new form as well. Yep, does look a bit different. They had one in there which had half width fields, 4 of them. So now that's the actual form. Main thing now, we need to test this. So let's just test this one first. So we call that one John Doe. We give him a johndoe@gmail.com email. His subject is John Doe is testing, and then let's call that test 1, 2, 3, and we'll send this one off and see what happens here. Alright, the form sends correctly. Let's see if it actually reaches the other side. Let's go back to the home page. We do the same thing with the pop-up. That one we call Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne, and his email is jasonbourne@gmail.com, let's say. And Jason Bourne is also testing, is the subject line. And he is testing a bit differently. He's testing XYZ. Let's send that one and see what happens. Beautiful, that comes up. We will go to Outlook. Hey, popped right in the very second. So this has come in now. It's now capturing correctly the name of who's sending. It's capturing their email address. Did I forget to enter an email address? I must have in this one. Let me just see. Nope. So if I click reply, does it pick up that one correctly? Yes, it does. It's going from info@creating to the email that the person has put in. So everything is correct here. Let's just do this one as well. Reply. And it's correctly picking up John Doe coming from our email address. Now that is absolutely brilliant. This will be the biggest issue you find if you Google the current contact form 7 sending issue that a lot of people have. People would look and search in Google for its sending as WordPress rather than picking up the person's name. The easiest way around it is what I've just done. Create a new form. Delete your old ones. Don't try to fix them. This takes you 1 minute to do and you've got the problem solved. And now the very last thing we will do is make sure our website is secure. There is this awesome free plugin that we will use and just set up now, and it only takes a minute, and then your website is a lot more secure than it is at the moment. WordPress sites are quite often attacked by hackers, and if your theme or your WordPress installation aren't up to date with the latest version, sometimes you could be prone to getting hacked because some of these bad guys out there actually run kind of scanners across the internet to find vulnerabilities in people's websites. So what I do there, just to avoid that, I normally go and install this plugin, which is called WordFence, and then simply look for it up here. click enter and install it. WordFence is a free plugin which does a great job. So just activate it as you normally do with a new plugin, and it has now planted a tab into the WordPress menu down here, and it's also popping up this little pop-up alert. So in here I'm going to put my info at creating my new website.com, which sends me alerts for anything that happens on the website. And there's really nothing you have to set up, okay? So performance setup, you can do change some of these. Right now, your website is now secured, a lot better than it was before. And if you want to fine-tune those ones down the track, you can actually go and have a look at some of the WordFence manuals and just, continue the tour, just learn about it a little bit. For now, it is set up, it is working, and that's pretty much all you need. And now, my friends, we have reached the end of this tutorial. I really want to thank you for watching the video to the end and for your interest in creating a great looking website for yourself. Together, and look, we now have a beautiful looking site. Of course, you can tweak it a little bit more and work on little color nuances and maybe some font changes and small items like that, just to make it look exactly like you want it. Now we have got a site that resizes to any device you've got. So if you use it on a tablet, it resizes all the content, or even if you view it on a phone, it instantly brings in the mobile menu. Here it is, and it starts working on all the different devices that people view your site on different browsers. So this is super compatible for everything, and absolutely love it. Yeah. So what are you waiting for? I look forward to your first project, and by all means, please, when you've created your first site and you have something to present, email it through. Let me have a look at it. Love to see it. Also, if you need some hints and tips and maybe some assistance in your project because you got stuck and couldn't find the answer quickly online, drop me an email or a message through YouTube. I'll do my best to assist and get back to you as soon as I can. Now, in the meantime, make sure you have downloaded the walk along cheat sheet, which will assist you a lot in just going back to the individual spots that you've got here in this particular tutorial. So grab that and save it away. It's going to be a go-to reference for a long time to come until you feel really confident and comfortable with both this theme and WordPress itself. So in the meantime, thanks again, guys, and I catch you later.